Alright Tim, so the next one we're going to do is the Kimura, or downward figure 4 from side control. Okay, so I'm going to do this one facing this, so yeah, just come this way. So we're in a good side control position, and there's a few different ways we can do the setup for that. I'll tack on a little bit at the end, but the basic Kimura from this position would be my partner's arm is locked out here in the downward facing hand position. Alright, so my left hand in this scenario will be taking the wrist control, elbow close to the body. My right hand would be coming from the head side down to control my own wrist. Right, whether you go thumb in or thumb out is up to you personally. All right. Once I've established that Kimura lock in this position, the main finish, the side control style finish that we're going to do is by switching base and stepping over the head. So I'll switch my base here, and I'll step over my opponent's head, lift up, and then push their hand around and through to hit the finish. Right? Why are we doing that? Well, because for the downward Kimura, when they're on their back, I need to be able to push their hand down in this scenario to hit the joint lock. All right? I obviously can't do that because the floor is in the way. So the way that we're going to do compensate for that or do that is to lift up from the elbow and then push the hand through. However, if I don't step over the head, the problem is they can sit all the way up and in fact off balance me and force me onto my back. So I need to put something over their head so that they get blocked as they lift up, and I'm still in a strong enough position to apply force into the Kimura. Right? So the key part for this finish is the switching the base and stepping over the head. Now for Jiu-Jitsu, you obviously want to be very careful about how you do that, placing our foot sort of high and letting our thigh rest on their head. But for self-defense or from there, you can be a little bit rougher in how you approach that. So when the elbow's bent, for example, you could just ride the shin across the head or drop your knee on their face as well. Okay, so the Kimura, downhill lock, step, and then attack for the finish. Right? So where is this one useful and how do we set it up? Well, anytime that we're in the side control and our partner's arm is upwards on the far side, we can attack for the Americana. Anytime that it's downwards, I can attack for the Kimura. My favorite setup for that is when they take the underhook, because the underhook is a really big problem. It's going to allow them to escape, but it's also for when their hand is lower or facing away from their shoulder. So in this position, when they're taking the underhook, I'm going to make sure I've got the head controlled. All right, and I'm going to do a little switch base towards the legs. My hand on top is going to track the inside of their arm until I find the wrist. I'm going to take wrist control here, and then I'm going to walk my body back towards the side control and lock the figure 4. All right, and then go through and proceed to go to the finish. Okay, so for that one, it was the taking the side control. They're taking the underhook from the side control. I'm going to switch my base, track, find the wrist control. All right. Now, if you've got a really strong partner, you may not be able to turn your chest back to the floor with wrist control when they've got an underhook. So in which case, I'm going to include the second hand now. I have to be careful of this. I need to make sure I've got good tension on my partner. So I sit up slightly and my hand is going to join, but I keep the elbow close on the inside of their chest here. All right. Now I've got good security on the arm, and I have to just make sure that they don't blast me backwards with their underhook. So I want to keep my weight as forward as possible. All right. Then I'm going to pin that back to the mat nice and strong. The intent, you can feel it when you're on bottom here, the intent here feels quite different. All right. Step over, start to elevate, block the head and go for the finish. One more time all the way through. Switch, grip, control, step the head, apply pressure. All right, let's look from another angle. Switch, lock, step, finish. So that was the Kimura from side control. Let's give that a go.